Hello, and welcome to How to Align the VIVO model with an MRI. This tutorial picks up from where we ended with how to choose a model within an MRI. In the last video, we chose the model we wanted to use for segmentation. That model is shown on the right-hand side of the screen. Hold down the left click button and you can turn the model to look at it in different orientations. On the left side of the screen, in your DICOM image, you should see the outline of the ventricles. This is what we will be working on first. To get started, let's click Edit Model under the operation mode in the top right. Next, highlight your short axis view. This is the view you use to place your seeds for segmentation. Before I begin alignment, I like to check my brightness and saturation bars at the bottom of the screen to make sure I have good visibility of the outline around the DICOM image. And I like to open up my DICOM image window rather large. It doesn't matter that the model is small right now because you won't be working with that at the moment. Once that is adjusted, you're ready to begin manipulating your outline. Left click on the inner portion of the ventricular outline, and you will see a red area. This is the area that you can control. To make the area larger, press Control and scroll your mouse wheel upward. Now you can left click and drag your outline to encircle the right ventricle. If the yellow line snaps back to the original position, try decreasing the amount of red area by using Control and scroll wheel back. Sometimes it wants you to make very small adjustments to the outline. And so if you get that, if you see a blue spinning wheel or if you get a snap back, just make your red area smaller and try doing it that way. So I'm going to adjust my outline here. Okay. That matches up fairly well there. And you just continue doing this process until it aligns fairly well. In most of the frames. So if you have a couple frames that seem like they're off, like that for instance, it could be that the patient took a breath during this sequence. If all the others line up and you only have one, like this one that's a little bit off, I would say just don't worry about that one frame if all the others are lining up well. So at this point, I would probably save. You can save several times during the process just to make sure, in case for whatever reason your system shut down or you had to leave and come back later, you would be able to pick up where you left off. So I'm going to go down to the 4-chamber and just see how we look here. And we need a little bit of work here because you can see that our ventricular wall was facing outward, which we don't want. We want it to encircle the ventricles nicely here. Okay. So that's looking good. And bring that in a little bit. And I'm going to save again. Okay. So we're looking pretty good here. Now this area is right at the top of the RVOT. So on your model, it's going to be this area here. And you want to make sure that this area is down and nicely surrounding the valve there. Okay. So I feel pretty good about this model so far. And now I'm going to make my DICOM window smaller and work on the model itself. And what I'm going to be adjusting now is the wall thickness. And this helps to make the localization more accurate when the wall thickness is correct on the model. So we're going to click the wall thickness button, bottom left. And the colors that appear on the model should be, you'll see greens, oranges, yellow. The right ventricle should be within the orange range here, 4 millimeters, as it is thinner than the left ventricle. Left ventricle should appear mostly green here in the 12 to 16 millimeter range. So to adjust this wall thickness, you're going to press Control and left click on your model. The area will appear white, and while holding the Control button and scrolling up and down with your mouse, you can increase or decrease the amount of area in the white. So I'm going to just cover the amount of area that I want to increase here with the white. And I'm going to then press Shift and scroll wheel up. And it's still orangish, so I'm going to keep holding the Shift button and I'm going to scroll wheel up a couple more clicks. Scroll wheel up a little more. Okay, and starting to get green now, so I'm going to scroll wheel up just a tad bit more. I'm going to highlight this area and Shift, scroll wheel up. Okay. And now I'm going to look at the right ventricle. And just as you did over there, you're going to Control and left click on the area you want. And to make it smaller, now you're going to hit Shift and Control wheel back, Control wheel back, or scroll wheel back. Okay. And just remember, when rolling your scroll wheel forward or backward, make sure to move only 1 or 2 clicks at a time, because otherwise it can create errors on your model. So small 1 or 2 clicks. backward. So I'm going to continue working with this until it looks like I want it. Okay. You'll also want to make sure that your septum is kind of yellowish orangish, and you can highlight that on the inside and then scroll wheel back just a little bit to make it nice and right thickness there. So we're almost finished here. Got a little more work to do. Scroll wheel up. Scroll wheel up. Okay. So the area in white that you're working with on the model is the area that's in red on the ventricular outline that you were just working with. It's the same area. So you can go back and forth, work on the model with the outline, or work on the model here with the wall thickness. Okay, I'm just going to go, so I'm going to save, and then I'm just going to go look at my DICOM real quick. You want your outline to have nice rounded areas, no pointy sections. It should be nice and round. Because if not, it'll make little jagged sections on your model. Okay, so let's see. Okay. So we're just about done here. Model's looking pretty good. All right, well, pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna just open my DICOM window up again and make sure we're aligned properly. Oh yeah, that looks pretty nice. That looks pretty good. And that looks pretty good. So once you're happy with the way everything looks, you've completed the process. And when learning the VIVO system, this process can take up to 30 minutes. As you become more comfortable with manipulating the outline, it won't take as long. The key is picking the best model before starting your alignment. Once you're satisfied with your model, save once more. And now you're ready to move on to torso segmentation and alignment, which will be discussed in the next tutorial. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for your time and attention.